Kick-ass confidence for the woman who wants more passion, power, and personal style. Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to Kick-ass Confidence. I am your host and your confidence coach, Linda, and we are here talking about all things confidence through the power of personal style. So your body, your beauty, boobs, bras, Botox, what kind of shoes to wear, what kind of clothes to avoid, what are the pitfalls when it comes to building a beautiful wardrobe on a budget that is customized to you, because personal style is unique to you. How to use the Ferrari in your closet that is fashion to identify your body shape, what colors work for you, and to express yourself without saying a word. And today I'm super excited. We have a precious client of mine, a beautiful woman who is a powerhouse on many levels, who's going to be chatting us for a short little conversation around how she went from devastation after divorce to being a stick of dynamite, an absolute dynamo in life where she is right now. So let me take a minute and introduce to you the beautiful Kate Woodward-Young, a remarkable story of resilience and total transformation from the inside out. So this is once a homeschooling mom of four. And what happened is Kate, like many women out there, was blindsided by a divorce after 23 years of marriage. That is a big deal. That changes the rest of your life. That does everything to a woman's self-confidence and her self-esteem. So self-esteem did go crashing through the ground. And through that experience, Kate actually embarked on a journey of self-discovery and with a desire to restore her self-esteem, to restore her self-confidence, and prioritize once again the woman in the mirror, because you know how we normally take care of everyone else around us, especially as moms. And we do tend to lose ourselves somewhere along the way, right? So on this journey to self-discovery and self-exploration and to get back on her feet through the confidence of the power of personal style, which is when Kate joined the coaching program here with Linda Page, she not only reclaimed her confidence, she not only secured a really lucrative job and doubled her income, she is now spearheading a project in a business where the plan is to expand the business by 10 new locations in 2024 and 43 locations by 2026. Not just that, she's also a best-selling author with 2 more books coming in 2024. She has a podcast that is about to reach its milestone of 250 episodes. And I don't know how I would sum this up. I would say from divorced and depressed and devastated to wow, Kate, just wow. So welcome, beautiful. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too, Linda.
I'm loving your longer hair. I'm loving the color, because I remember when I met you, there wasn't much going on except black and gray and a little bit of the things you were going through, right? So I would love for you just to share with anyone listening or watching here, where were you before you and I met? And because there's lots of women out there, as you know, who are literally in the middle of divorce right now, being blindsided and feeling devastated about what am I going to do going forward? Why don't you talk to us a little bit about where you were then?
Oh, I think I can do that. So I'm going to not go through the whole story, but I will start in January of 2022. So in January of 2022, my former spouse and I were still trying to figure out the legalities. Honestly, I was still in shock. It had only been about 6 months. So I hadn't really processed, but I knew that all of a sudden I had to be a full-time income. We still had 1 minor child, and there wasn't a whole lot of flexibility on his part as far as negotiating division of assets, really. And so I really didn't know who I was. By that point in time, I had had some life coaches, career coaches, therapists. I'd had a whole bunch of things. So I was definitely in a better place in January of 2022, but I still didn't feel like I was anywhere close to where I needed to be. I took jobs because they hired me.
Yeah.
I took jobs because I knew I needed money. As the next 6 months progressed, I continued to work, but there were still things I couldn't get past. On July 4th, 2022, which is my Independence Day in every way, shape, or form, because July 4th is the U.S. Independence Day, was the day that I made the decision to join you and your program. And the following 6 months, I still can't believe all of the positive things that happened as a result, I do not doubt, of joining this program, because all of a sudden I had the confidence in myself. In my 20s, I sold custom suits so that, and at the time they were the price of a car. And so I had lots of confidence in my early 20s. But over the following 23 years, I had poured so much of myself into my family that I really forgot who I was. And not in a way that I would have described as negative, it just happened. And so through your program, I discovered all those things that I already knew about myself, but nobody had actually reminded me or said anything to me that way in decades. So I fell in love with you, fell in love with the program, had quite the hiccup in September of 2022 when I actually fell down 13 concrete steps. And during that time, all I could do was read. It was on my right shoulder, and so it made writing, talking on the phone, anything that I was doing for revenue prior to that, just impossible.
Yeah.
But during the following 6 weeks, I got headhunted by a major tech firm. I also had the state of New Hampshire reach out to me to do some projects. And both of those were not things that were on my radar ahead of time. I didn't know they were going to come. But they were definitely answers to prayers. And there was a lot of that happening at the time. And also through you, your connections, other students in the program, I met a grief recovery coach and embarked on a journey with her. And so between the two, I was like, I've got this. And then I read Jan's book on negotiation and felt very like, I can do this without any problems. And so when I was headhunted, they tried to give me a salary that was less than the person who had it before me, which I knew because he told me. And I was like, just because he's a guy doesn't, in my mind, didn't mean I should be paid any less than he did. I actually had more experience. So I countered the salary proposal, and they came back with a yes.
Nice.
But I had no fear. I wasn't worried about whether or not I wasn't in the mindset that I needed that right now, because I knew I had other options. And so there's so many things I want to jump in on here for a minute. So I know what you went through, right? But for someone listening or watching, so you got into this program, Confidence Through the Power of Personal Style. I mean, what is someone who is looking to earn a job, get a job and earn money, what has fashion got to do with that, right? Like, what is personal style? Isn't that like a nice to have? Talk to us about that for a minute. Oh, so, I mean, I really was the t-shirt, yoga pant, stay-at-home mom. I mean, I worked. I mean, it wasn't that I didn't work. I had worked remote for 20 years before that was even something people knew what to do with. And I worked when it was convenient. So if I had my kids during the day, I would work in the evenings, and I never prioritized what I had on. My kids used to joke that if I had makeup on, hair done, clothes on that weren't yoga pants and a t-shirt, I must have a meeting. And I think I was just convincing myself it wasn't worth it to me. Now, every day I get up, I shower, I make up, I put on great clothes, and I come here. So I come in my home office and I do my work, but I'm getting dressed up for myself. And I feel more confident, and I don't worry about whether or not I can take that phone call, record that video, do that interview, because I know I'm already ready.
Yeah.
And literally, the month before, I was getting to the point where I would go, can we reschedule that meeting to maybe Thursday? And I would reschedule things so that only one day a week did I have to look like, I'm going to go with a grown-up, right? That I looked like I was ready to do business. Right. And
so
that difference made a huge difference to me.
Yeah. Great. So learning your body shape and your color, and learning how to basically put items together and mix and match and accessorize and finish, learning that and positioning yourself to get up, dress up, and pitch up for work every day and do business. You have found that impacted your mindset, your energy, everything? Everything.
And the hard part for me was I knew how to do all of that for my 20-year-old self.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here I am in my 50s going, well, I didn't have anything nice to say about what I would call my body type.
Yeah.
And that really made a difference. And once I finally went, okay, and your program really kind of gets us excited about not waiting for the wait. And so I went and got rid of all those clothes that used to fit, all those clothes I thought I loved, and came in and created a really basic capsule wardrobe. And that was so wonderful. It was like having a uniform, right? I could go in, I knew I could grab this shirt, these pants, and they would go together, and I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I was so excited to dig out the old jewelry that I've had since my 20s. So, it's nice when the 80s and 90s come back into fashion.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun fashion.
Yeah, and so I've had so much fun just playing in my closet, building my closet, adding totally new colors, totally new patterns. And it's exciting, right? I get excited to plan out, what am I going to wear the next 12 days or the next 3 days? And sometimes I'll walk in and I'm like, I don't feel like wearing that. And I'll wear something different. And I don't ever sit there and go, I have a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear.
Yes.
Because I know everything in my closet fits. Nothing has stains on it. Are there some things I like better than others? Right now, yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point where I fall in love with everything. But I did it on a budget. I had to figure out what I had, and it took a little while for me to really understand that quality over quantity, because I wanted it right now. Yeah. And so I had to get my right now and then build to what I want my ultimate white t-shirt is.
A lot of women might think, oh my gosh, I've got to just get rid of all my stuff and build a whole new wardrobe. That must be expensive. It's not, right? I mean, you have 4 kids. You were suddenly in a position of having to earn an income. And so you worked to a plan, a blueprint, a recipe that you could manage it based on the time and the money that you had available to rebuild this wardrobe that was going to reflect who you were, the woman who you are today, the woman that you want to be tomorrow, right? So you had a recipe to work with.
Yeah, and what's been really exciting is to go back and look at one of the assignments in the program that actually for some people was really daunting, but for me was really exciting, was the style book. Yeah. That I made of my own, right? It was taking my own clothes, putting them together, taking a picture. And it's really fun to look at those outfits now and see the transformation in 2 years, because I was so dedicated to your program. I finished it in 3 months because it became what I did during the day. Like I got in there and I got ruthless with the closet. I tried things on. If they didn't fit, but did it not fit and I still loved it? So if that was the case, then I might go find it and see if that style or that brand was still available and maybe the next size up. Right. And I didn't hang on to the one that was maybe 2 sizes too small. So it really, really worked when I bought a home. So on top of all of this, in December of 2022, because of the new job and relationships, I was able to buy a new house and I had a whole new closet, but that meant I was moving again. So I had moved from Florida back to Austin and then from Austin, Texas into a house. And, every time you pack and unpack, you're throwing stuff away. So I called again, right? So even within the first 6 months of my physical and mental transformation, I was purging. And I still find myself calling clothes because I'm like, you know what? I liked that at the time, but now I like this better. And I haven't worn that in 6 months. And I love finding women's shelters or other places where women who maybe can't afford a quality blouse, I can pass on for interviews and for them. And so I work with...
I love that you're doing that, because the women's shelters and domestic violence shelters like that, that's where they will actually use them, because women are under the impression that, oh, well, I'll just take it back to the thrift store. I'll just... The fact is, between 1% and 3% of secondhand clothing that goes back to the thrift store actually gets resold. And so the vast majority gets dumped on the shores of Haiti and gets, because it's such poor quality, because of fast fashion, they can't actually recycle and reuse that fabric anymore. So I love that you're taking that there, because those are beautiful items that do help other women to actually feel better and feel confident and go and get a job like you did. So I love that you're doing that. So much. Oh my gosh. So you did the program in 3 months, where women normally will do it in 6 months, because it's a self-paced program, right? And there's a lot of work. I mean, notwithstanding the fact that you were coming back from this devastating divorce, there's a lot of inner work to do. It's a transformation from the inside out. But I love how you went all in. And that's evident, number one, because of your results. I mean, from zero to hero, basically, from there to securing, jobs, being headhunted, doubling your income, tripling your income, from there to authoring more books and, your relationships with your family and your friends, your peers as well. I mean, and you continue to be a loved member of this community who still inspires. You probably don't even know. People are still talking about your story and looking at your before and after pictures. And I love also that you did that without waiting for the weight, Kate, because that's probably the number one reason why women dress down, is they're waiting for the weight. And you went all in, even by getting on an airplane and coming to one of our international events, where I loved your red two-piece outfit that you took to the catwalk with. How did that feel?
Oh, well, that was an adventure. Red was not a color. Bright pink was not a color. Orange was not a color. None of those were colors prior to preparing in 2023 for the South African trip. You continued to push and poke me getting outside of my comfort zone. I would have definitely said I was very happy where I was in the summer of 2023. And all of a sudden, as we're prepping for going to South Africa, you're like, no. And you continued to push me out of my comfort zone. And so whether it was a two-piece red outfit or the two-piece orange outfit or just the vibrant colors, because you reminded us that there's no reason why we needed to look like we were on safari. And so I didn't have khaki and olive as I did have a pair of olive pants with me, but other than that, everything else were bright and vibrant, and that really became who I felt like I was. So as I've continued to mix and match and build and call that wardrobe, I've added a lot more colors. I've even gotten to wear that red outfit at one other place. I probably could have worn it a couple other places, but still got to get out of the comfort zone sometimes. But doing the catwalk, that catwalk to confidence, it really was an awesome experience to know that I looked like I belonged there.
Yeah.
And it was such an amazing experience to be a part of, not just for me, because by that point in time, my confidence level could probably go higher, but that particular 10 days right before I left for the trip, I had some phenomenal things happen. And so I was so confident when I went there, but I did so many things outside of my comfort zone, from the zip lining to just meeting all of the women and sharing our stories, because I had a hard time sharing my story prior to then.
Yeah.
And so I was able to share my story in a positive way, not just the facts, which doesn't always sound very positive. And so, you know,
It's an inspiring story. And they, like we said, there's so many women out there all the time going through the devastation of divorce, and it changes your whole future, right? So that's great. I mean, Kate, in the short time that we have, I mean, I could spend hours on this about where you were and where you are now. And I love that you now are your own style guru, right? Part of the objective was for you not to be dependent on me, on stylists, on coaches out there, but for you to be able to connect with the woman in the mirror, which you did, and to connect with and inspire women around you, which you continue to do, and also to be a role model to your kids and to the people in your life, because we don't know who is standing to the left of us in the grocery store or to the right of us at the airport. We don't know what people are going through. And if we just sometimes stop and look at what we're going through, we can just empathize a little bit with what most women are going through, which is why we dress to connect first with the woman in the mirror, which you have just absolutely nailed. And then with those around us. Are you still finding that dressing up and bringing some color in and is still creating connections for you in your day-to-day environment, both but maybe at the grocery store and in your work environment?
Oh, absolutely. I've been to a couple of different national conferences this year as a presenter, and I was very easy to find. So, I might have presented on Wednesday, but I was there for the next 2 days, and people had no problem finding me. I was in similar colors the whole week, but they were bright pink, bright teal. And so in an environment where everybody was wearing black and white, and everybody was, because it was a casual industry, and so I wasn't at the top of my wardrobe, but I definitely wasn't at their level. And so I connected, always get compliments on beautiful lipstick colors. Because again, I was definitely that brown lipstick if I wore any. My previous husband didn't like the feel of lipstick. But now I've made life just easy, powder brows, lash extensions, red lipstick, and I'm out the door. And so, constantly making those connections. And it's been wonderful to use those connections to help other people. People will stop me. They will ask. I serve on a board for a women's recovery program. And through that, I'm just able to continue to make those connections for other people. And so almost like a matchmaking experience. And it's been
like as
wonderful.
Your confidence expands, your influence has expanded as well. Of course, your income as well, which oftentimes will happen, right? But
absolutely.
So you're continuing that experience. I love that. So let's go here then, Kate, for a minute. And on powder brows, by the way, if you're listening to what Kate is saying, we talk about Botox and boobs and bras and brows, because brows are the frame to your beautiful face. That's yes. And the older we get, the lighter they get, the more they go like, okay, I'm done, I'm disappearing. And your brows look absolutely fantastic. And that's why I love looking at before and after pictures, because it's like, wow. And powder brows, or they're also called ombre brows, are much better than microblading, which can be quite invasive and actually leave red scar tissue. So if you're interested in that, stay with me, because I will give you a link to go to a free group where you can learn all about these things, just as Kate did. So Kate, I want you to talk to the woman out there who is either single and lonely and hasn't been able to connect with someone who she wants to do life with, or especially the woman out there who is in the middle of a divorce proceeding, or is on the other side of it and still struggling. Talk to her for a minute, would you, about what kind of beauty and confidence and strength you have found through personal style, and what would you say to her?
Well, first of all, if you're in the middle of the process and there's no way for restoration, even if there's been, regardless of the reason for this change, if you can get in the program right now, even if it's the middle of what might seem like a most horrific experience, part of me wishes I had found Linda's program in January of 2022, because I would have been so much more confident in meeting with judges, meeting with attorneys, and all of those situations. I didn't find Linda's until after the paperwork was signed. And I was just because I felt like I had done everything I could possibly do to not get that paperwork signed by a judge. But if I had, and I don't know if the outcomes would have been any different, but I probably wouldn't have been beating myself up for 6 months trying to figure out what's going on, because the whole process took over a year. And if I had found Linda in the beginning or in the middle, I would have been able to bring that skill to the table. However, in all honesty, I may not have been ready. But I was ready when I found Linda's program, and, I progressed and I moved forward. And as a result of grief recovery, coaches are just a wonderful thing because they keep you accountable. They give you tools to move forward. Don't get me wrong, therapists have a place if you need to hash out history and kind of resolve behaviors. I've had them all. I had 12 professionals total over the course of that 2-year transformation. And by far, I know I had the most personal introspective growth through Linda's program because it was all about me. And it was about me figuring me out. Yeah. And it made a difference on the life coaching, on the career coaching, on the health coaching. I can make a list. And so you have to figure out for you, what are the pieces that you may or may not have in your back pocket. Yeah. And if you just need that cheerleader, this is the place to find hundreds of cheerleaders that will be there to inspire you, that will be there to support you. And sometimes they're going to say things to you that are a little rough and hard to hear. I won't tell you that Linda's coaching is always uplifting and positive, because she's really quick to tell you what you need to hear. And that's what a good coach does. And if you are looking to go back into the dating world, why not do it with the most confidence you can muster up, and knowing that what you've got on looks good on you, you're confident, and you can move that forward. Yeah. That is not where I am. However, I've used those skills professionally. So, TED Talks, national conferences, book tours, all of those things, I have the confidence that I had as my 20-year-old self that over the last 30 years I lost. And so I'm so grateful for Linda, her team, her program, the women who are part of the community, because I've watched, I've been inspired, and I've shared, and I get to share with my children. And for me, it's wonderful to watch my children add color to their wardrobe. I have 4 young adult children, 20 to 30, and they also now wear color. And I didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to say, oh, you're wearing black again. And I've helped them invest in quality items in their closets. And so,
what a beautiful thing. I love that. The professional results, and your personal results are amazing, but that you are influencing your adult kids to step up, rise up, step into their light. That is just, quadrupling your influence around you making the decision to invest in the woman in the mirror. Kate, we're going to have to wrap up there, but my love, I want to say thank you so much. It's such a treat to see you wearing beautiful color, pretty color, bold color. I didn't even know half of the things that you were doing and all the results you were getting, but I know. And listen, if you're catching this before the 21st of June, 2024, there is a Linda Page live event, our first live event happening. And Kate, I believe you're going to be there. I am so excited to see you there. It's going to be a real pleasure to see you again, hug you again, catch up again. But thank you so much for giving of your time and your heart to encourage women here to do what you did and to invest in the woman in the mirror.
Absolutely, Linda. It's been great. Can't wait to see you in Dallas. If you catch it, we hope to see you. Come find me. I will probably be wearing something bright and obnoxious. And, I look forward to getting to know more people who find you.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Kate. All right, so there you have it, from someone as bold and beautiful as Kate, who did not feel bold and beautiful not too long ago. So whether you're going through divorce or you're on the other side of the divorce, or whether you are single, or whether you're going through some other kind of challenge, who would have thought for a minute that investing in personal style has got anything to do with restoring yourself, getting back on your feet and moving forward confidently, going from zero results like Kate to being headhunted, doubling and tripling her income eventually, authoring 2 new bestsellers, continuing to spearhead and lead projects and businesses with expansion plans, influencing her children, her peers, her friends, her family. The power of personal style is a gift, my friend. It is real, and it's got everything to do with your confidence. Because self-confidence, remember, is self-trust. How much do you trust yourself to get up, dress up, walk out your door, knowing that you've nailed it, and going after with confidence, going after the goals that you have in life? Whether it's to meet someone, whether it's to make a phone call and go and restore that friendship, whether it's to go and land a job or put your hand up for promotion or actually go and launch that business, write that book, whether it's convincing your spouse to go on that international event or that experience that you've been lacking in confidence to put on the table, whatever it is, confidence is key. And confidence is central to how you go about things. And you would have heard Kate talking about negotiation skills that she learned in the program. Yes, because negotiation is just a specialist form of communication. And most people, men and women, I've got a 35-year corporate background. And when I got into negotiation years and years ago, I had no clue actually what it is and what it isn't. And learning from the master himself, Jan Potgieter, who happens to be the chairman of our companies, and a global negotiation coach to the likes of Adidas, Nokia, Vodafone, Network Rail, Pfizer, etc., how empowering it is when you hear Kate's story, which is one of thousands of women, to go in and negotiate a really good salary increase or secure your starting salary at a higher level. Because there are tactics around this, my friend. If you have not stopped to think about what salary you're on or what position you're in, if you're a woman in business and you want a bigger slice of the pie, that is included in this coaching program. Confident women understand negotiation. Confident women have 2 or 3 basic, powerful negotiation tools in their toolkit, in their arsenal. It's really, really important. So if you're a woman in business and the divorce story's got nothing to do with you, you need to go to www.school.com. The link is below. Go to school.com. It's a free community, or go to lindapage.com and you will find us there. A community, an uprising, a revolution, a renaissance of women who are done being frumpy and frustrated, done with playing small and dressing down and blending into the background, done feeling like they've lost themselves somewhere along the way. Women who have decided that they're going to respond to the call to action, which is to get up, dress up, and be a bold light on a hill. And that's what you are called, my friend, to. You are called to the light, not to the dark. You are called to be bright and bold and beautiful. You are not called to dim your light and play small and apologize for your boldness or your body or your beauty. No more waiting for the wait. No more frumpy and frustrated. Go and join us at school.com. It's completely free. And as you come in the front door, you're going to be warmly welcomed by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women that Kate alluded to just now, who are also in training to no longer criticize their butt, their boobs, their bodies, but actually to be for the woman in the mirror. Because yes, I will help you to build a beautiful wardrobe and learn the capsule wardrobe and what it is, where to find it, in what color, at what price, how to wear it, how to mix and match it. But what I am most excited about is helping you to fall in love with the woman in the mirror. And yes, it is possible. If I can go, which I did, from self-hate, and I mean hating every part of what I see in the mirror, to really loving and being for the woman in the mirror, then so can you. This is not about having a polished, perfect presentation of ourselves. In fact, if you stick around for 2 minutes, you'll know that I'm all about screwing up is okay. In fact, screwing up is essential to your confidence and to your success. So whoever you are, wherever you are, thank you for spending time with me today. Thank you for catching this message. Thank you for choosing, because every day is Tuesday. Thank you for choosing today to prioritize yourself again, because the woman in the mirror, she's worthy of you stopping and slowing down and maybe apologizing to her for all the criticism that you have rained down upon her. We live in a world that teaches us how to be critical. And unless we have training and grooming to the opposite, which most women do not, we have to stop and learn how to do that. And it starts with one. It starts with the woman in the mirror. So I invite you again, go to lindapage.com to find out what's going on, or better yet, go to school.com. The link is below, and join us there. And you'll get a gift as you walk in the front door called Kickstart Your Closet. It's a $297 program, an online course of a few hours where I'll help you how to cull your closet, what to do, what are the steps, taking control back over your wardrobe, which is full of clothes that you're saying, I have nothing to wear. We've got to stop, and we've got to stop spending time and money on the stuff and spend a little bit of time and money on the skills. If you're interested in that, get into the free community, feel us out, check us out, find out who we are first. And if you want to go all in, there is a free consultation that you can book within that school.com or lindapage.com. We have a beautiful team. We've got a client relationship manager, who will have a half-hour free consultation with you, ask you some questions and answer your questions and help you to decide, are we a good fit for you? Are you a good fit for us? Because there is a call to work with women who are serious, no longer curious, but serious about being a bold light on a hill, serious about bringing life and light where they go. From the grocery store to the airport, two of my favorite runways, by the way, to the workplace, to the home. You are a woman. You are beautiful. You are worthy. And you are called to arise and shine. Thank you for spending time with me here today. Go to school.com or lindapage.com, and it's you and I get you falling in love with the woman in the mirror and walking out your front door, looking amazing, feeling fantastic, and being kick-ass confident. Kick-ass confidence for the woman who wants more passion, power, and personal style.